What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I found this interesting video I came across. I've been doing some different police chases, right? Actual footage. And I came across Swedish versus American police chases. Now, I don't know if this, I don't think it's going to show me like just a full video of a police chase. But I think it's about to compare the two, which is going to be interesting. Because when I was going through the comments and stuff, it's crazy the difference, and I've seen some European police chases and it's insane. It's different. I seen a cop was like he could have been a professional racer or something on the motorcycle. He was just so good. But I know police chases here are different because it's going to involve weapons, It's going to involve some gunplay. But in Europe, no. We finna see, because it said try this in the USA channel. This is from Critical, the channel Critical. So this is going to be interesting. Sweden.
Now in California, they are allowed to shoot at the cars. So they will fly in a helicopter and actually shoot.
That's crazy, because that's just already first 5 seconds. That's crazy, because that's the stuff that you see in movies for sure. And in California, it's probably a lot go down like that.
Cruising down the street.
Oh, that Easy E cruising down the street. Oh, he wildin'. That's crazy. Cruising down the street. What y'all know about that NWA? That's pretty different right there.
So,
This in this video and you do get wrecked.
I see these comments a lot. Not just try this in the USA, but try this in Dubai, for example, where they have these crazy cars as police vehicles.
Dang.
That made me think of VinWiki. If you don't know, it's a great channel with lots of car-related stories and interviews. And in one episode, they talked about police supercars that they have there in Dubai, how it's all for show and that they pretty much just roll around the Dubai Mall.
And thinking, how cool is this?
Wow.
Supercars in police livery, all set up with working lights on the roof, shattering the dream though, not so much for the high-speed pursuits.
I need to check that out, because I thought I seen something like this on Twitter, but I thought it was just a few. But wow, Dubai got some money though. There was some nice. I would be a police if I get to ride in one of those. That'll make me interested. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, look at that G-Wagon back there.
But more for the tourist activities, to use these cars around tourist destinations in Dubai.
I learned a lot from this channel.
I need to
There's
check
a
them
bunch
out.
of great stories as well. So I thought I would ask Ed some questions. Ed is the guy who runs that channel, but he's also a part of Cannonball. So I think he's the perfect guy to ask these type of questions and see his point of view on things.
Cannonball.
Do people run from the police in the States on purpose? And can they get away? Or is it just like in the movies, where they get smashed by 10 cars and...
Gosh.
In many ways,
Dang, it's crazy, because you would think, you see it on movies. I see it on movies all the time, like no problem in police. It's crazy, because that was live
America
footage.
is known for police chases. We have much more powerful police cars that can go a lot faster, and we have wide open roads all over the country. So this fantasy of being able to escape, capture, or get out of a ticket or whatever it might mean certainly is in most car enthusiasts. And so you do see them in a lot of movies. You see them on the news with these helicopters, whether it's news or the police helicopter, chasing it along a highway, particularly in California for some reason. I guess that might be where the fantasy is made most manifest. But it is certainly part of American car culture, both in infamy and sometimes in reality. As cannonballers, we certainly are much more aware of when and where it can be okay to attempt evasion, and we stay a lot more familiar with what the legal penalties are if you are to get caught. That being said, it's not really something that you generally do, because honestly in the US, speeding tickets are not that hard to get out of. In most cities and states around the country, if you just hire a local attorney for $500 to $1,000, you can get out of just about any ticket. And if you get caught in an attempted evasion, it can be thousands and thousands of dollars and certainly incarceration. And in general, with license plate recognition, with cameras all over the roads, it can be really hard to get away. And so the only time it could ever really be a viable option, you might say, is if you're so far ahead of the cop when you see that the lights are on that you have some sort of plausible deniability that they may or may not have actually been coming after you. And if you can put some distance between you and the police officer, make a few turns, maybe get out of the car, or at least make it unclear who was driving at the time, it is possible to get away. I'd say in the few times where I might have done something like this, those were the circumstances. I was so far ahead that I couldn't even be sure that the cop was after me. Exit the highway, make a few turns, park behind a building, wait half an hour, and just see what happens. But I've never been in a hair-raising police pursuit, but I've heard about many of them, and it certainly is a part of American car culture.
I need to check out his channel for sure. That's different. But no, he does have a point there. Cause I do the same thing sometimes. You know, when the police behind, I just turn corners and see. Because I know here in the States, or I can really speak on my town, sometimes a cop will get behind you just to read your license plate and do all that stuff. You know, they just go in the system and see who this car belongs to, see if the tag, you know. So sometimes they kind of do that. And I have a Dodge Challenger. So I can do, I'm not the type, I don't drive fast on the highway. I got up to 100 before in my Challenger. I do have sport mode. I haven't did that yet. But because I'm like, I know my car can get up to 60 pretty fast. So on sport mode, it could probably go a little faster. But yeah, I know the type of car I have, people always trying to race and do all those things. So I can imagine every time I see a cop, I try to turn some corners too, just because the type of car I have, they just probably think I'm trying to race all the time.
Now in California, they are allowed to shoot at the cars. So they will fly in a helicopter and actually shoot at the engine to try to disable the car in some way. It's obviously hugely dangerous for all involved, but I've heard some absolutely amazing stories. There are planes and helicopters in most precincts, but they take a little while to get up in the air. So it's not as though they're immediately up, ready to chase you for whatever it is. And admittedly, helicopters and small planes are not that fast. And so if you're on a big open stretch of road with a car that can go easily over 150 miles an hour, I'd say you do stand a chance.
My fault. Gosh, that was loud. That car gone.
Chance.
Dang, I had to hear that again. That was still loud. That's fast.
The problem is that they can cut corners, and essentially, unless you get a whole lot of distance where you can make 2 or 3 turns, meaning you can get 1 to 2 minutes ahead of where a helicopter or a plane might be, you do not stand a good chance of getting away.
At all.
So what about the Swedish police?
Oh, snap.
Well, here you can see them trying. And as you can see, Sweden obviously has police helicopters as well.
They try.
They're not that many, and they're not in the air all the time. So to deploy them, it takes a little while, and most chases aren't that long. And at least you can say that this here is safer than the American way.
I feel like in America, like you chasing after one person, but you putting the whole road, the whole force in danger now. You know, especially if there's helicopters shooting that. Now that's the type of stuff I've seen in movies. I ain't never seen that in real life or heard of it in real life. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but that's crazy if they're doing that, because now you putting everybody in danger on the road. Like, that is crazy to even think about that. Did I get out the car? He gone in Maxie's.
Here they try to use spike strips, stingers, or whatever they call them.
Oh no, they said no, thank you. And turned around. That is wow. Oh my goodness.
Throughout kind of American car history, we have had people that were sort of notorious for their abilities and their interest in getting away from the police. And you've seen a lot of these guys in Europe and in the US that do develop such a reputation, either because they just don't want to get caught, can't go back to jail or whatever the case may be. And so it is something that sort of does follow the mystique of certain automotive personalities, like the mischief guys from Techademics or some of the rally guys with Gold Rush or Bull Run and all these different things that we've seen in popular culture related to cars. But at the same time, again, nobody's really out here doing that all that often. It's just one of those things that we see and love about some of our favorite car movies.
For
Det här
sure.
är Trafipax, en utrustning som inte enbart mäter farten utan också dokumenterar med bildbevis. Fram till har den blixt till kameran.
Here in Sweden,
Dang.
we got camera systems quite early. In police vehicles, that is. Here is footage
dang.
from 2 chases in the 90s.
They gone. Dang. Oh. Oh my goodness. This was You can tell the police are being very careful too, not trying to, just hit the car. Y'all seen in the beginning the US police, they just straight, rear-end them and try to flip the car flip type of thing. Like, they don't want to hurt you. Just trying to stop you. Oh. Dang. This car ain't stop. Oh my gosh. Oh, now they done hit him. Oh, they ain't have no choice but to hit him at this point.
Well, we don't have much of his cameras along the roads like our neighbors in Norway have.
Dang.
Another neighboring country is Finland. And to explain Finland,
dang.
well, I'll just show you
Den
this.
halvmeterlånga harpunen som styrs inifrån polisbilen är försedd med en laserstråle för att man också ska träffa rätt i mörker. Vid behov kan man också leda in tårgas genom harpunen och in i den flyende bilen.
Hold up. I didn't know they had the English tags on here. I gotta hear this.
Well, I'll just show you
Den
this.
halvmeterlånga harpunen som styrs inifrån polisbilen är försedd med en laserstråle för att man också ska träffa rätt i mörker.
What?
Vid behov kan man också leda in tårgas genom harpunen och in i den flyende bilen. Intresset för den nya uppfinningen är stort. Förutom att den finska polisen nu funderar på om det ska bli deras nya vapen i jakten på brottslingar, har polisen i London och Kalifornien redan tagit kontakt med den finländska uppfinnaren.
I love Finland.
I've never seen
This
a
is from the
harpoon.
90s.
The US actually was very much behind Europe and a lot of the rest of the world in terms of cameras. Obviously, they've been in Japan for decades now, but in the US, it's only very recently that camera systems are deployed throughout the country, throughout the highway system, and even within a lot of dense cities that could easily track a car. So the fantasy exists a lot more in the US than perhaps it might in other parts of the developed world. And so it is possible to get away, and you're not always going to be policed, so to speak, by all these different detection methods, but it is something to look out for, and it is obviously something that happens all over the world.
I think we didn't. I think the U.S. didn't because, of course, cops wear cameras on them and stuff. I think they behind on it because a lot of cops be doing some some bad stuff and getting away with stuff. I think
Methods, but it is something to look out
corrupt
for, and it
cops.
is obviously something that happens all over the world.
Oh. What in the world?
And in one of the next episodes, we will talk to 2 guys from the States that actually does this. It's very interesting, so stay tuned.
I didn't know
And
people
also
actually
check out
did
this
this.
episode where we build a simulator with an airbag.
Oh, snap.
It's pretty funny.
That's pretty cool. That's cool. No, I like this. But nah, yeah. There's a lot of corruptness even in the police department. That's why they was late on the scene. A lot of cops would have been a lot more trouble with the video footage, which you see it nowadays. But now this was different. Yeah, that harpoon thing, that was interesting. I haven't seen that on any cars recently, but this was a very cool video. Now I know people actually do this and really try to get away from the cops when they're going fast and stuff. It makes me wonder when I see people like speeding almost as if they're racing. They could be trying to get away from a cop. Like I said, I have a Dodge Challenger, and you know, typical fast car, typical. And mine's not even. I don't even have a V8 engine. I have a V6. So, but yeah, you want to see me going fast trying to get. I'm a law-abiding citizen out here. I try to, but if I'm in a rush, I will go. Other than that, I'll play it safe. I don't try to put nobody in danger, which this is dangerous in the U.S., especially if you're shooting from helicopter. That's very dangerous. But that's all I have. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations, and y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.